Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to create interactive world maps, such as the one you're looking at right now. And what we have plotted here are the coordinates for each country's capital, along with the year-to-date performance of a basket of US listed stocks representing that country. The bigger the circle, the larger the year-to-date return. And if we zoom in here in the Americas and just hover over one of these points, we see that the basket representing the Cayman Islands have a year-to-date performance of 17%, and the one right next to it for Mexico, we see that this has a negative return, so that's why it has a relatively small circle. And I believe you could zoom in all the way down to the cities and streets. So here we have Washington, D.C. And as you see, we're able to see the streets and the street names. So whatever your application is for creating world maps, I believe this script may be useful. And the data I'm using comes from FinViz. So let's close out this map. So here in FinViz, we have an overview for each of the countries, and I have selected the performance tab. So we're able to plot the performance on a weekly basis, month, quarter, half, annual, and year to date, which is the column I'm using. And I found a CSV file on a GitHub that lists the countries along with their latitude and longitude. And I believe you should be able to read this in R if you just click on raw and copy the link. But what I have done is actually save this on my computer in case this page is no longer available. So I'll show you how to scrape the table from FinViz, add the coordinates, and then plot it in R. Let's go back to RStudio. These are the packages we're going to require. I have also added two helper functions to format the percentages and the abbreviations for thousands, millions, and billions on the FinViz tables. So these two functions help with returning numeric variables instead of character so that we can easily interact with the data in RStudio. Now to actually scrape the FinViz table, we go to the next block, we insert this URL, we read in the page, locate the table, and the rest is just formatting using our helper functions. So we take a look at this table. We have 38 countries, and we have converted these columns into numeric. You can go ahead and plot any of these columns, but the one in the script just plots the year to date. Now that we have this table, it's time to add the coordinates. So in this next block, I'm going to read in my CSV file from the GitHub I showed you earlier. We do need to replace some of the countries since FinViz returns these in short form. So from the coordinates table, for instance, we have Republic of Korea, but FinViz has South Korea. So we need to make changes for these 4 countries. And now we're going to loop through each row and add the coordinates and save it into table. So table should now have all the coordinates for all of the countries, which are these 2 last columns. As long as you have some sort of coordinates, you're going to be able to use the interactive plot, which should be the next block in our script. Now for the plot, we're just going to reassign table into data. Since this is a special kind of object, we need to assign the latitude and longitude for each of the rows and create a coordinates object. Now to actually plot it and format it, we're going to use leaflet and pass in the data. The second parameter, add markers, are the labels we create representing the year-to-date performance. We add tiles, and we also add circle markers, and the radius just represents the square root of the performance year to date multiplied by 100. But you can make this anything you want as long as you have it in your data. And I would recommend you go over the documentation for this package, as there's a lot you can do with this chart as far as formatting and presentation. But I was really impressed to see that I'm able to zoom in into the actual streets. So depending on what your application is, I definitely recommend these packages. Well, with that guys, this concludes the video. I'll go ahead and leave a link down in the description area to my Patreon where you can find the script. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.